Guys, we have to talk about Rivian, and as you all saw in the title, I personally think it's a bubble. I think it's overvalued. I believe if you're buying Rivian stock here, and before you hit the dislike button, I believe if you're buying it here, you might be making a mistake and you have to be careful. Now, am I saying Rivian's cars, their trucks are a bunch of garbage, their mission, their vision for the future is crap? No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is the market cap right now being 130, 125 billion, what you're paying right now might not be the best bang for your buck when it comes to your hard-earned money and you investing that money, right? So we're going to break it down, go into some details in this video. If you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe, check out my Patreon down below, and make sure to get $50 free from M1 Finance. That's also linked down below. And with that being said, let's get into it. So Rivian, it's been the talk of the town in the markets, the financial media, pretty much all across the board here over the past roughly week. They IPO'd about a week ago, and I believe the original price that they IPO'd at was like 75, 78 bucks. And as you guys can see, it IPO'd on the 10th, so about a week ago, and it went up all the way to 120 bucks that same day. And now, the day I'm filming this video, it just hit $170. So it's already gone up 2x, and we're pushing 3x. I mean, if this goes plus 200, which is possible with all the euphoria, all the hype right now, I believe that this could maybe 3x. And the market cap right now is right around 125 to 130 billion. And the crazy thing is, as of now, Rivian has zero sales. They have literally zero sales, and they're losing a crap ton of money, which makes sense considering that it's a startup company for the most part, right? I mean, it is. It's in the beginning stages, and they're trying to get off the ground. And people make a lot of mistakes with companies like this. And by people, I mean investors, right? They get so caught up in the vision and the mission, all of the crazy, extravagant goals, where the company could be going. They get caught up in this, and they're thinking pretty irrationally, and they're willing to pay anything. That's the truth. You know, when you get caught up in the vision and the dreams, the aspirations, you are willing, for the most part, unless you have, you know, you've done more research and you kind of think about it with a clear head, you're willing to pay pretty much anything, or at least investors these days, you know, they're just bidding up stocks like crazy, paying whatever they want. And that is very dangerous, because what price is too much to pay? You know, they're not making money right now. They're losing a lot of money, no sales. If this was 500 billion market cap, would you be buying it? I'm sure a lot of people would still be buying it. So you have to be very careful at these levels. And the losses, we're going to go into some notes here that I have here on my iPad, guys. The losses are increasing from a year ago due to significant labor and overhead costs. And I'm sure a lot of people have been going through that, a lot of businesses, right? For its plant in Normal, I think that's Illinois. You know, the startup said on Friday in a recent filing. And the net loss for the period ended September 30th, just about a month and a half ago, will range from 1.18 billion with a B to about 1.28 billion. So they're losing over $1 billion, right? I think that's per quarter, or the recent quarter. And they're not making anything, right? Obviously, nothing on the top line. And I think the CEO said, as we just started to ramp vehicle production at the site, the facility produced limited quantities of vehicles in the period. The company said the operating loss for the quarter is expected to be around 725 to 775 million, which, guys, these are astronomical numbers for a company to be losing, and the valuation being at where it is with zero sales, right? And you may be asking yourself, Stas, isn't Amazon investing in Rivian? Isn't Ford investing in Rivian? The truth is, yes, they are. But what you have to understand is they aren't paying these prices, guys. I mean, Rivian, or rather Amazon, they are big stakeholders in Rivian, but I'm sure that they bought their stake is at a much, much smaller valuation than where it is right now. That's what you have to understand. When companies go public, the investors that were in it before it went public, they're making a crap ton of money on the IPO. They're making a lot of money. I can't even put it into number terms right now, but just understand that. If, let's say, for example, Pinterest went public at, let's say, 30 per share, hypothetically. It didn't do that, but hypothetically, right? You might be saying, oh, Pinterest is a great buy here at 30, but there's investors that have the shares at like $1. And when it goes public, they dump the shares on the public markets, and they made 30x their money. That's essentially, I'm not saying Amazon's getting rid of their Rivian investment, but what you have to understand is they make a lot of money when the company goes public. So as of September 30th, Amazon held equity investments, including preferred stock of Rivian, that represented about 20% ownership interest, according to a filing, and that holding had a carrying value of $3.8 billion, up from $2.7 billion as of December 2020. And Amazon has invested about $1.3 billion into Rivian, according to the EV maker's initial public offering. Amazon also recently purchased $490 million worth of convertible notes in Rivian that will convert to Class A shares after the IPO. And Amazon is not only an investor in Rivian, but also a customer. In September 2019, Rivian entered into an agreement with Amazon to produce 100,000 EV electric vehicle, or these are vans, right? Delivery vans. And Rivian disclosed earlier this month that it expects to deliver at least 10 vehicles in the month of December 2021. 10 vehicles, guys, right? Not 100, not 1,000, 10 vehicles, and all of the vans that would be remaining, 99,990, 100,000 minus 10, which is what I just said, will be delivered by 2025. So they're delivering 10 vehicles next month, but the remaining will be delivered by 2025. And like I said, Amazon, which I just covered, has an ownership stake in Rivian, and so does Ford, which has about a 5% stake in Rivian. And by the way, I've mentioned this before, Ford is a company that I would like to own at some point in the future. If it does come to a decent valuation, I think Ford is a bit stretched right now as well, but not nearly as much as Rivian, not even in the same ballpark, guys. But Ford, you guys know, it actually makes vehicles, makes money, and they have a nice dividend. So that's one that I would like to buy if it gets down to like 10, 12 a share, which who the heck knows if that's going to happen. So at this point, what is driving the price of the stock is pure hype and pure speculation, pure euphoria, and the overall story, the narrative that Rivian's going to beat Tesla. It's going to be the biggest competitor to Tesla, and they're going to do great things, which could happen. But as of now, they're really not doing anything but losing a lot of money. And sure, they do have some vehicles in the pipeline with Amazon, but they're not even delivering those yet. So it's just a lot of hype. And this makes me nervous because a lot of stocks, companies back in the dot-com bubble were similar to this. They had a high valuation. They weren't doing anything really, not making money. They weren't selling much of anything, and they had a very high valuation. And you guys know what happened after the dot-com bubble. And this kind of reminds me of SPACs as well. Do you guys remember a year or 2 years ago when it was SPAC mania, right? A lot of companies were SPACs. Then they what's it called? What's the word here? They transitioned to their new ticker symbol, and the stocks went down 80-90%. I mean, there's so many of those guys that just got destroyed. So many SPACs that were like $100. They ran from 10 to 100. Now they're back to like 10. They lost 90%. So this makes me a bit nervous, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Touching Rivian here, and if I were to give it, and you can't really give it a fair value because it's hard to really determine it considering they're not doing anything now. But if I were to just say what I would pay for Rivian if I had to buy it, which I don't plan on buying it, 10, 20 billion would be a market cap. So if it fell down 75% from here, call me crazy, but that's where I would consider buying it. But over 120 billion, 150 billion, where it's nearing to now, that's just ridiculous in my opinion, guys. And you have to be very careful when you're dealing with stocks, companies like this. And if you do want to gamble on Rivian, you do want to put some money into it, just be careful. I would personally put in money that I'm willing to lose. Let's say I had $10,000 to my name. I would put, and I'm not telling you guys what to do, but let's say I had $10,000 in my name. I would put $8,000, $9,000 into safer investments like the S&P 500, gold, silver, a little bit of Bitcoin, individual stocks, blue chip stocks, whatever you want to do. I would put my money into stuff like that. And then with the other 10%, 20%, I would throw money into Rivian. I'd throw money into some other SPACs, startups, and then, maybe go from there, especially if you're younger and you're able to tolerate the risk, right? So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with me? Are you in Rivian? Are you not in Rivian? Let me know down below in the comments. And make sure to check out my Patreon. If you guys want all my moves in the markets, morning update videos, more access to me throughout the day, and more, that's on Patreon, link down below. Or you guys can go to StasserFest.com/Patreon. Make sure to also get your 50 free bucks from M1 Finance. Simply use my link and deposit $100. And you guys should get 2 stocks from Webull by also using my link and depositing $100. All of those are down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Again, as always, keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there. Peace out.